Welcome to the 3D podcast.
And that was the healthiest cracking at the intro we've had since we started this podcast.
Yeah, I think I scared David with my knuckles last week.
Yes, that was unhealthy. But also because you cracked open water. It wasn't a beer can, it wasn't soda.
Yes,
And you don't have your normal
my
Red
water
Bull.
bottle.
Oh yeah, or your water, look at that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I usually get a Red Bull,
Usually.
and I've actually started to take something up this week, or actually today. I was discussing with my mom because we had the day off and I treated her to lunch. We went to Red Lobster and we were waiting for our food and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna start taking up coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I never drink coffee. Well,
Yeah,
I
you
drink
don't.
here and there.
Yeah,
But
yeah, you like on the rare occasion.
very rare occasion I'll drink a cup of coffee. I don't hate it. I actually like coffee, and like regular black coffee, like with cream and sugar, so it's not black. But I was telling her, it's like I think I'm gonna start drinking more coffee. I kind of want to like have a set thing where I'm gonna wake up a little bit earlier in the day so I can maximize my time. So I kind of want to wake up, start a new routine where I could get myself in this flow of waking up at a certain time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not just waking up like late in the day or wasting my sleeping forever. So I'd rather maximize my time, wake up a little bit earlier, start going back to the gym because it's been like 3-4 months since I went to the gym, and so I think I'm gonna bring coffee into my life.
New year, new you,
Oh
bro.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been doing, fuck, I still enjoy my cup of coffee, and of course now with coconut oil, but I haven't had like a good like latte or anything like that
Mm-hmm.
for over a month now, and it kind of sucks. Actually, no, the other day I had just a sip of
Ooh.
Breve,
Ooh.
um, not enough to kick me out of ketosis or anything, but enough to like where I'm just like, oh, I missed that, and then. Today for lunch, went to a Chinese place. I had beef, what's it called, shrimp. Oh, and like steamed vegetables. So it was all good. But the problem is, I didn't tell the guy that was ordering for us because the guy called in an order. We were gonna sit there and
Mm.
eat, but he only had like half an hour. So for him, he had to, we had to have the food ready when he got there. I forgot to say like no rice or anything, so I had a nice little scoop of rice with like it just looked good. I had some. I had
You
just a
son
bit,
of a
maybe
bitch.
maybe a teaspoon of it,
Uh-huh.
and oh man, it tastes good.
Rice is good, man. Rice is
Asian
good.
rice with a little bit of egg in there. It's
Oh, dude,
delicious.
yes, the egg.
Actually, uh, we'll talk about the NFL here in a bit, but this is so. Even though I kind of said no about talking about our trip next week,
You
I'm gonna
goddamn
sneak it
bastard.
in just because. Um, so I don't know if there's gonna be a podcast next week, unless we unless we record one this weekend, another one, or maybe one on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually considered breaking ketosis because I want to get a breakfast burrito
Ah,
at the
yes.
burrito place.
This
So
this highly talked about burrito place. It's been talked about for
it's unfortunately,
months.
yeah, unfortunately for you, it's now overhyped to where I don't think
It,
you're gonna like it.
it's hyped, dude.
But I'm thinking about making that one breakfast meal the only like the tortilla.
Hmm.
That'd be the only thing that kind of has the carbs and stuff. So I thought maybe that's the only kind of thing that I would purposely eat for that day to kind of have carbs and stuff. So that's still like in limbo.
So you're just hyping that burrito. You just hyped it up right now that you'd
Well,
break
because
your own ketosis diet, and you're like, I'm gonna eat it.
just for a burrito, and I'm looking so forward to that burrito.
See, now this burrito's like on a high pedestal
No,
in my mind.
I thought about like just asking if they can put it in a bowl with like just the bacon and cheese.
Uh huh.
Now, well, I'll figure it out. I'll see.
Ask them for a wheat
Yeah.
tortilla. It's like,
So that's that. That was my brief mention of that. So good luck on your coffee journey. I recommend Breves, because they're creamy, they're delicious, and they're really good like reward. They're not cheap typically. Actually, there's
uh-huh.
one coffee place I recommend, Cafe Amor. On
Is that next to the?
little Asian place. There's a karate school like right across from there.
Oh, okay, it's kind of about like the Fifth Avenue Safeway. kind
No,
of, but it's like
no.
that's
I know exactly which one we're talking about, and it's not that one. It's sad how much I have all these coffee like locations on lock. This one is. I'll show you later on if I
I
remember after the
okay.
cast. It's like right around the corner from that Lariat, I think, and the Walgreens downtown, like where that weird.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. That's what I mean.
Oh, is it there? All right. Then yeah.
I'm not
That.
saying like across the street from Safeway, not that one, but it's like a little
Oh,
bit
okay.
back
Yes,
more.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's in the vicinity there. Yeah,
yeah,
because
okay.
there is one directly across the street from Safeway. That's
It
what the
used to
one I
be
was.
like across the street from Grapevine adult film store, but now it's like it's an empty lot now.
Yeah, it used to be the dollar store way back in the day. That place, the park, like,
No,
yeah, okay. I'll show
I
you
think I
then.
know what you're talking about though.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, anyway, I'll show you the coffee place. It's delicious though. It's cheap. It's good.
Hmm.
That's where I had the sip of Breve, and at Starbucks a Breve like grande is $5-6. There, it's like it was 350 or something like that, and it was, trust me, it's just as good.
Yeah, I try to stay away from Starbucks. Hashtag
Eh,
not my coffee stand.
There's only one Starbucks. Just try and stay away from. All right, but quick recap to NFL. Um,
Now here's a guy.
Now here's a guy. I mean, we could start off with the Eagles Falcons. I didn't watch the game. What do you think about their performance? The Eagles did win 15-10.
Yeah, no, I missed like the first half. I was watching a little bit here and there, but I was at work at the time, so I couldn't have like my full attention to the game. But I remember getting home and catching the probably like the fourth quarter,
Yeah,
and Falcons were up, I believe, 10-6, and maybe 7. I don't remember, but it was a low scoring game,
10-9. Yeah,
something like that. And I just knew, like I'm not really. I've kind of said this a lot that I'm not really confident in my team because we're working with a backup quarterback,
yeah,
and I'm not blaming him, but it's kind of hard. Postseason is another
yeah,
game.
yeah. Absolutely.
You want to be on your tip top best shape. You want everybody performing well, special teams, offense, defense, center, everybody. You want everybody on their tip top game. And to ask that from a backup quarterback in the postseason, it's just a different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
So I will admit that I've been really, um, I haven't had a lot of
Skeptical.
confidence
Yeah,
in my team. So, but I did still go for them, and I know that the Falcons are a wish-washy team. They always fail to perform at a perfect time. I mean, look at last year's Super Bowl. They
yeah,
had the biggest lead, and they lose it in a quarter and a half. Not even a quarter and a
yeah.
half.
Not even a quarter and a half.
So it's just like Falcons are known. I mean, they're a good team, but they're known to just blow it.
You know, and I remember, I feel bad. At first, I thought it was kind of funny, but now I'm just starting to feel bad. For some fucking reason, the Falcons owner needs to not come
The
down
arc
from
of like
his, yeah, because
he always comes down to the sideline.
he always comes down the sideline, and then it cuts to a fucking sad view of him looking like all sad because his team just like lost, and I'm just kind of like, damn, dude, just maybe if you stay in your little booth.
The press box. Yeah, he always starts the game up there, and then during the game he just like makes his way slowly but surely. He gets down to the sideline.
Yeah,
By the time he gets there, the score is a totally different score.
yeah.
You know,
So I think he needs to stay up, in his
or maybe start on the sidelines and then work up to the
yeah,
booth.
start on the
Go
sidelines
backwards.
for morale, then kind of disappear a little bit. But no, and I remember I saw, like, I didn't watch the game, but I remember seeing highlights, and at the end they showed the owner, and it's just like I've seen that image so many times. This is just like, dude, just stay the hell away from your sideline. You might be jinxing them. But no, you're right. I don't think it's his fault. But the Falcons just can't keep it together for a good run, even with the 20-point lead or something. What was it?
It was just from the Super Bowl it was like I want to say it was like 35 to like 7 or something like that. I don't
Can't
remember. But it was terrible. They should have walked away with that. But anyway, yeah, it came down to the last drive for the Falcons to try to come back and score and take the lead and win. And I was watching the play and I remember, and he overthrows Julio Jones and the ball sails through his hands. And I'm like, it kind of sums up Julio Jones' season for the year. Like we've had him in fantasy, and starting him for most of the season and not getting much out of him. It's kind of bittersweet to see him lose the game, kind of,
Yeah.
for the Falcons. I'm like, all right, that's what you get for sucking for me. Now you're gonna suck for your team. But that was a decent game. Had nowhere near the other game for the AFC.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say it was low scoring, more defensive. The Eagles' defense is getting them
Dude, the defense is just on a
this
whole
far.
new level.
Yeah, so they're obviously gonna struggle on the offense because they're missing their starting quarterback.
But he didn't do too bad. Nick Foles, I mean, I
Yeah.
kind of said it. I knew he was going to have a bounce back game. He wasn't going to be like the Raiders game where he just did nothing. I mean, he had the yards. He just didn't throw any touchdowns. It was more relying on the runners and the freaking defense. So, slowly but surely, maybe he'll get it lined up this next game where it counts the most because it's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah, this. I mean, it's the tough road. I think it's almost like harder to get to the bowl. As long as whoever, like the teams that make it there, as long as they don't have that like mentality, like they played the last game. Well, we made it this far.
I think we're doing good.
Yeah, that's. Oh, crap, did I close the wrong window? Yes, I did. So we were on the conference games, I think. Nope.
And so we had the Patriots and the Titans.
Yeah, the Titans actually started off with the lead.
Yeah, they scored 7 points on the first drive, I believe, if not second drive. They looked really good. Like, oh, okay, they're doing some things against the Patriots defense. They couldn't stop them.
And then the second quarter happened.
Whole different ball game.
Yeah, the Patriots scored 21 points in the second.
Oh, God.
And then the Titans didn't score anything in the second quarter. I remember I was going to watch that game. I don't know. I remember I was going to watch it. I was like, oh, the game's on. But the thing is, by the time I was getting ready, like, oh, maybe I should tune in.
You saw the score. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, it was literally second quarter. I saw the score, and I was like, no, I'm not going to watch this.
Yeah, I watched it because I was at my house, and my mom's a Patriots fan. So we were watching it. Excuse me. And like I said, the Titans look good in the first drive. And then, like you said, second quarter, they just, God, it was just, they were like in the fetal position, But
defensive breakdown. Did the Titans put together anything offensively?
Oh,
No, really.
no.
So the team was just not. They were literally just guys standing on the field then.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was terrible. Deion Lewis, the running back for Patriots, he was having a great game. He was having like a excuse me, a Le'Veon Bell type game.
Yeah.
And they couldn't stop him. And then you also have Gronk, and you can't really stop him either as is. But I tuned out the fourth quarter. I'm like, all right, this game's a wrap.
Yep. Patriots won 35-14.
Excuse me.
Then we go to the Sunday games that were actually a little bit more exciting. Unfortunately, I didn't watch the Jaguars-Steelers game, but looking kind of at the run through, that game looked like it was actually pretty fun to watch.
There was literally no defense. It was crazy because I watched some of it. Like I was at work, and we both were like, "Oh, the Steelers got this, right?"
Right.
And I saw the score first quarter, like the end of first, it was like 21-7. And I was like, holy moly, how did the Jaguars score 21 points so quickly in one quarter? And then down to the second quarter, Steelers were trying to get back up. It was like 28-21 by the end of the half. And they were just playing catch up the whole game. Every time the Jags had the ball, they kept scoring. And the Steelers would have to come back and try to score and score. The offense was great, but they just didn't have a defense. Ben Roethlisberger had over 400 yards passing.
Yeah.
He had 4 touchdowns.
I remember seeing that.
So you can't put it on him. It's just the defense wasn't there. They couldn't show up. They couldn't stop drives. So it's tough to win games when you can't stop drives, But it came down to the last 10 minutes. Well, there was still time and there was still chance, excuse me. But if you can't stop them and they keep scoring, you can't win it. So that was a good game.
Yeah.
It was a high scoring. So if you like high scoring games, hot offense, it was a good game.
I don't like. I don't know whether I like high scoring games. Like I do,
Hmm.
but sometimes you can sit down and you can watch a good. As like a fan of the sport, sometimes you don't mind watching two good defenses go at it.
Oh yeah,
It's fun watching touchdowns and celebrations, seeing good runs, but there's also something fun about um, being able to see a good defense in action. Um, Now, one thing I'd like to note about the second half to this game, this is going to come to my prediction, maybe, depending on how I feel. I'm still on the fence. Uh, the Jaguars had like a second half kind of breakdown because in the third quarter, the Steelers got 7 to Jacksonville's 0, like they didn't get any points. And then in the fourth quarter, Jacksonville scored 17 points to the Steelers' 21 points. So it shows that even though the Jaguars were up, they were being outscored in the second quarter to the Steelers. So the Steelers were doing what they had to do, but just not well enough
yeah. No,
to take the lead.
you can't. If you can't stop the running, because the running game for Jacksonville was really good. They were the ones who really scoring the points. Blake Bortles, he was again another game manager. He wasn't really putting up the points. But Leonard Fournette, he had a few rushing scores. I think their backup also did some good work. But Blake Bortles was just subpar at best.
Yeah.
So when you can't stop a run game, it takes time off the clock. So it's hard for the Steelers to try to like keep making points and getting on the board if they don't have the offense out there.
I'm a little curious about the Steelers coach,
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin, if it's time for them to kind of call it good with him, because now he's not a bad coach at all. Um, and he's got the Steelers to many playoffs. Did he get him to the bowl? Was
Yeah,
that him? Yeah,
he
okay.
got him into the bowl.
So, but he's been there for. I can't remember the last time I watched a Steeler game and not seen him on the sideline.
He's been, I want to say it's been almost 10 years now
And
that
that's
he's been coach for
for
the
me.
Steelers.
That's a long run for a coach.
And he's a young guy. He's only like 46, I think.
Is he?
Yeah, because he took over when he was like 36. So I'm assuming it's been like 10 years. If you do the math, obviously it's
Right.
10. But
Do you think that Pittsburgh will like ever kind of get rid of him in the near future? Because now I'm just like, all right, we know he can get you this far, but the thing is, he hasn't brought him a ring in a few
so
seasons.
I remember a few months ago, like probably the first few weeks when the Steelers weren't looking that good. They were, here and there, they weren't winning games. And I remember watching like First Take, and they had like former Steelers players on there, and they were all saying that none of the Hall of Famers kind of respected Mike Tomlin. Like they didn't believe he was the coach for that team. Like I can't remember honestly. It's been like it was in the beginning of the season,
Right.
but they were all saying that the Hall of Famers weren't really giving Mike Tomlin their respect. They didn't believe he was the right coach for the Steelers. Well, he got him to the freaking playoffs. I think Mike Tomlin's not too bad. I wouldn't mind having him as a coach. The problem is they don't have a defense. If you don't have a defense, you're not going to win very many games, especially in the postseason. The last couple of Super Bowl teams, they were defense heavy.
And also, fun fact is Mike Tomlin also plays defense when he's near the sideline and sticks his foot out and tackles runners.
Yes.
But no, that's true. If a team does not have a defense, then and we're seeing that more now than ever. Is defenses are making the biggest difference on the field.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like my deal. Is like I just thought about that right now. I've seen him on the sideline forever.
He's
like,
been there for a while. Yeah, you're
I
right.
can't remember the last time I looked at a Steelers like sideline and not seen him. 10 years. Shit, we were in high school.
It's kind of a good thing that
Yeah, it's stability.
the stability, because you got teams like Cleveland who swap out coaches every year, and it just makes it harder for players to latch on a system, because every coach is going to bring their own style, their own play calls, and you can't expect every player to memorize every freaking play every year after year after year. Getting new coaches,
Yeah,
there's no stability, so
new
that's why they're
system.
always staying at the bottom of the totem pole. And you got teams like the Steelers. I think they've only gone through like less than 20 coaches in their history of the team,
Right.
which shows that they're really stable. I think the last coach was Bill Cowher, and he was there for a while. He's a Hall of Famer coach, I believe.
Hall of
So,
Famer coach.
so it's stability's great, but like you said, maybe here in the near future, you might want to change it up.
Yeah, and that's just like whether the Steelers organization's willing to gamble. I don't know. For me, it's just kind of like now it's time because like I said, there's nothing wrong. He's probably is a good coach, but maybe the team just needs to shake up. But they might also be scared to do something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Well, I
I
mean,
feel like they're a, an organization that might be kind of afraid of some big change like that. I mean, like you said, he's been coaching for a long time. Ben's been there for a long time.
and he's gonna come back next season. He already said
He
that
extended.
he's back. He'll be back. They have a number one well, they have a top three offense. You have Ben Roethlisberger. He's probably gonna be a Hall of Famer. You have Le'Veon Bell, 25 years old, and he's running through the history books with
Yep.
his play. You have Antonio Brown. Excuse me, who's also an elite receiver. He's like your top 1-2 receivers in the league. So you have that offense. It's
Yeah.
just they need help on the defense.
Yeah, they have a freaking tier one offense. Like
Yeah.
this is an offense to fear, but the defense is just on the flimsy side.
But yes.
Yeah. So goodbye Steelers. Actually, no, I was going against the Steelers because I'm still salty. So I'm kind of glad Jacksonville won.
Yeah, so you called that one right. Yep.
The last game was interesting
Oh
because
boy.
I got it wrong. I got the result wrong, but I did not get the game wrong, and I'll explain this. The Saints versus the Vikings, which came down to a very fun fourth quarter. I actually,
Not even like the last 2 minute warning. That's
there was two teams. Both of them had possessions in the last 2 minutes. That's crazy. It's almost unheard of because people usually manage a clock, and I think if the Saints could go back, they would probably do some more clock management stuff.
you know what it was, and I remember saying this when that drive happened when they scored and got that lead. I want to say it was like they had the ball 10 times, for that drive.
Yeah.
And 9 out of those 10 plays were all passes. Not once did they rush. I don't even think they even rushed the ball one time. And you have 2 Pro Bowl running backs who are quite capable of doing something. Yeah, Mark Ingram didn't have a great game, but you also have Alvin Kamara, who actually was doing pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
And not once did they run the ball on that last drive. They might have ran it once at the very end. But clock management. You left too much time on the clock.
Yeah, too much time.
58 seconds, I believe.
Yeah, and then when I remember seeing the number 25 for 25 seconds, and I think that's what it was.
Maybe 25. Yeah, you're right.
I remember seeing that, and I even tweeted out. I don't think the Vikings could do it with 25 seconds left.
Nobody did. Not even the Vikings.
No. And then I forget the name of the guy that he didn't miss the tackle,
Williams,
but he just missed.
the rookie.
He mistimed the shoulder block, kind of shoulder hit. He was a rookie?
Yeah, he was a rookie. His name is Williams.
I kind of felt bad for Big Ben, or not Big Ben. Wow, for
Drew Brees.
for Breeze, because he put together a really good drive, and
He had a good game, solid game.
yeah, and he had a good game, and like he did what he had to do. Like,
oh yeah,
he came and he brought it.
and the Vikings defense is no joke.
Oh yeah,
He went up against a top 2 defensive team.
Yeah, so when that tackle was missed, I couldn't believe it. Like,
Not even Stephon Diggs, who caught the ball.
I could not believe, and like I was watching it unfold in like slow motion. I was like, did this kind of actually like happen? Like I my brain couldn't process what I just saw. It was like, whether you're a fan of the team or not, that is just like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
was just nuts. And the reason why I said that I called the game, because I believe the Saints, the Vikings didn't necessarily, they won, but they didn't necessarily win. The Saints just lost. In my opinion, the Saints lost the game.
Yeah, it was. You can't blame it on the kid because, like you said, he kind of went for an early tackle. Like, he let off too early.
Yeah, way too early.
And he kind of wanted to back off. Like, he didn't want to touch the receiver because he didn't want to get a
Which is smart.
pass interference
Yeah.
play, which is a great thing that he did as being a rookie. Like I mentioned earlier, he's a rookie.
Yep.
And that's a freaking veteran move to try not to get that pass interference. Because if you do, that sets up a field goal, and that could have won the game. So, I mean, a lot of people are going to hate the kid. Well, he's not even a kid. But he could probably beat me up. But there's nothing you can do with that. You know, he led a little too early. You know, he's a rookie. That's a little
Tackled
mistake.
his own teammate a little bit.
I was like, hopefully he didn't give him, like, you know, hurt him or anything. But it's bad. And I feel for the kid because I know he's going to get, like, trolled on Twitter and whatnot and social media.
I saw some, like, stuff. I think it was on Twitter. Someone already removing him off, like, their the roster on Madden or something like that.
No, I saw one. It was a GIF. It was like a video, and it showed him. They had him like wiggling, and he was next to an ice skater.
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh, I forgot to retweet it. It was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. I felt bad for it. But the internet is, you know, it's undefeated. They're gonna get you for everything.
Yeah. Feel bad for it last play. You definitely, like, I knew, you know, like you said, you knew what he was trying to do, and he didn't want to get a pass interference call, which is smart. Outcome of mistimed shoulder kind of tackle, and it was bad also because he hit his teammate. Yeah. So the only guy in range of maybe recovering the play eliminates that, and it's just one of those things that you have to see to believe. And I liked watching some of the reaction videos. It was kind of funny to see both sides. Mm-hmm. Like, seeing Saints fans just... it reminds me of the Super Bowl.
Did they put the paper bag and put Aints on them? And
oh, there's also everyone, like, what did they say? Who dat? Is that their, like, thing? There was, like, stuff making fun of that, which I thought was funny. I never got that, and I'm surprised that's still a thing. Wasn't that a thing like 5 years ago?
Because like every team has their gimmick thing. You know, like the Steelers are known for the terrible towels, which actually hasn't been really used that much lately.
I was gonna say, thinking about it in a while.
It's been maybe a season or two.
You know, in hockey,
Seahawks. You have the 12th man.
I mean, the 12th man is like there. There was I want to say the hype was a couple years ago,
but that was what they were kind of known for. You know, like the gimmick things. Yeah. Every team has one of those, and Saints was a who dat, or maybe who day. But I know the Saints and the Falcons have a similar one. One's who dat and who day.
And then the Patriots have the refs.
And, like, cell phone coverage plans.
Cell phone coverage plans?
Yeah, just in case they break a phone accidentally.
Did they break a phone?
Remember that whole Ballgate thing? Tom Brady, like, smashed his phone.
What?
Yeah, to hide the freaking, like, what is it called?
Like emails or conversations?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
What a dumbass. You know, there's Save.
There's iCloud.
Yeah, not even that. Like, your Verizon, whatever, has access to, like, messages.
Yeah.
I didn't know he did that. What a dumbass.
Yeah, I think he texted the towel boy or whatever who was handling the ball, the equipment boy. And I think he was the one who told him to, like, deflate the balls just a little bit. And he damaged his phone. He's like, oh, I can't turn in my phone because I broke it. But that's how bats go. They're known for cheating.
Jeez, I did not know that the phone was a thing. That's so dumb.
Yeah, so on the Saints game, I actually got to see that. I went to straight after work. I got a text from a friend of mine who's a big Vikings fan.
Yeah,
and when he invited me over to his house, and he had like a little get together. So it was him and a few other friends and a couple of the guys that I know, and they're Saints fans. So this is actually a good household environment, back and forth banter between the teams. And, the score was 21 to like 0 or 20 to 0, and throughout the third quarter. And so the Viking guy was all happy, blah, blah, blah. And then the Saints come back. The Saints guy is finally happy. He's like, yeah, finally, And then the last play, and, I'm glad the Vikings won. Because I'm biased towards, because I'd rather see the Vikings than the Saints, because the Saints has a better offense.
Yeah.
And they have more offensive threats. They have a great wide receiver in that Michael Thomas. He's only in his third season. They have 2 Pro Bowl running backs, so it's going to be hard to contain all 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
Plus Drew Brees.
Yeah, I was gonna say Drew Brees has playoff experience.
He's known to pull it out of his ass. He's really good.
Yeah, I think the Saints would have been a bigger threat.
Hmm. But
Just,
Vikings, I mean, they have a tough defense, really tough defense. I feel like if we could just maybe run the ball and, you know, have more of the control on the offense, have more time with the ball, and limit the defense, you know, it'll be a tough game. But I think there's a chance that we might be able to pull it off. We, as in me, because I'm part of the team.
hey man,
I have a lot to do with it.
You bought the gear, you got the merchandise. It's official.
It
It's
ain't official.
licensed.
It ain't official. I got it from a Chinaman.
Chinaman. I guess we can go into our predictions now for those next week games. So there's 2 games on Sunday, NFC, AFC finals. Let's go with the one that's on first, which would be
The Pats and the Jags.
So what I was saying earlier about like the way the Jaguars performed in the fourth quarter or the second half of the game, Brady's gonna eat that shit up.
He can. Yeah.
If Brady plays consistent, he's one of those guys that would like kind of. I rarely see the Patriots have a slow start. I want to say they have more of a consistent start. Like it seems slow, but the thing it's very like even. Like it's just an even pressure and it gets to you. So if the Jaguars crumble, it's gonna look like the Patriots gonna turn around the second half.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just gonna be the Patriots being the Patriots, and you just kind of crumbled, and Brady just kind of picked you off. But I want Jacksonville to win, kind of like most people that aren't Patriots fans.
Pretty much everybody outside of Boston.
Yeah, so I kind of want the Jaguars to win. I like that's what I want. But the thing is, right now you have a Patriots team that like last week they had an easier game too. I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna say Jaguars.
Yeah, you were talking about the slow start for the Patriots, and this is a team that could have a drive start in the second quarter, and that drive could go all the way till the end, till the beginning, till halftime. Like they could literally take a whole quarter for one drive.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed in the last couple of games is they've adapted. They've gone to the high speed offense where they're doing no huddles and they're still doing things, so they could do whatever they can. It's tough to stop a team because if you stop them, they'll find another way to win.
Very flexible.
So they're very, very flexible. I'd like to see Jacksonville win as well.
Oh, we're both going with the underdog.
But I wouldn't mind Patriots.
I wouldn't, and the reason why I don't mind seeing the Patriots in the finals because I want to. It's almost like you want to make sure who's at the final deserves to be there, and I mean, as far as the Patriots run in the playoffs, they kind of do deserve to be there. But I mean, out of these 2 teams, whoever wins, as long as there's no BS call,
I think it'll be well deserved. Whoever wins, yeah.
So I'm going for Jacksonville first.
And Tom Brady will defy Father Time. He'll be the first person to do it at the age of 40 years old. I think he'd be the oldest quarterback to win or go to the Super Bowl.
How old was what's his face for when he won it with Denver?
Elway?
No. Just
retired.
Peyton
Manning.
Yeah.
I think he won the Super Bowl 39. And then he retired the season after.
Is Brady really 40?
He's 40 years old.
God damn, dude, that's the best looking 40-year-old.
Yeah.
Jesus. I thought white people didn't have good aging genetics, dude. What the heck?
He's not white. He's
a robot.
He's a robot, just like those sex dolls.
Jeez, I saw an article. I saw like one of them. Someone retweeted one, and I was like, "That's so creepy."
I heard Rogan was talking about that like a week ago. I think he was talking to one of the comedians. I think it was Bert.
Probably.
It was either Bert or the other guy that just.
I haven't listened to. I did listen to Rogan's podcast, the recent one about like stem cells
with Mel Gibson.
With Mel Gibson, I actually thought that was pretty interesting. Good. But no, what you were saying about the sex dolls, which is way more interesting.
Yeah, and I was surprised to see that it got so many so much talked about. Like I remember hearing about it on the podcast last week, and then this week they really were turning it out about the sex doll, which is crazy. But yeah, I think Jags would be a nice team to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Have you seen the Jacksonville Jaguar fan lady on the wheelchair kind of deal?
No.
Okay, if I remember, I'll show you after the cast. It's pretty funny.
Maybe we'll upload the clip on our Instagram
That's something that we can have make use out of
or on
that.
our Twitter because we need to put more content.
I try to
Just
tweet
lacking.
on the weekends sometimes. I'll retweet
I need
memes.
you to do it sober though, please.
Did you say sober?
Yes. Please.
Oh, I do it sober. Like I have him
We-
drink alcohol.
We have kids that listen to this podcast.
Oh, do we? Oh shit! Fuck.
No,
Actually, is that like an immature? Because everyone listens to this is childish.
2 week hater too.
So okay, so we're both going
AFC.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
AFC, the Vikings, the God's team for this year, versus Philly. Both teams 13-3 overall in the season.
And you know what's crazy?
What's that?
Both the starting quarterbacks
Oh,
were starting quarterbacks in St. Louis Rams.
oh, were they
Yeah, last year.
last? Oh, that's right.
Well,
Wait, was last year?
well, Nick Foles was 2 years ago, and Case Keenum was last year.
There you go.
He split time as a starter. So it's the battle of the St. Louis Rams.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
So we traded Nick Foles to the Rams for Sam Bradford to come to the Eagles. And then Sam Bradford gets traded to the Vikings. And Case Keenum gets traded to the Vikings. So, I don't know if it's Fisher, putting in that work.
Yeah.
But no, I think it should be a good game,
Honestly, I'm looking forward to both games. Kind of sitting here and looking at the teams. I think both games look like they're going to be fun to watch.
I like our odds, honestly.
I think Philly. I'm going to root Philly because I don't think Lightning won't strike twice for the Vikings. If the Vikings win, they'll have to play like a good game, but I think Philly's defense is going to hold it down again. And I think they have the energy to carry the Eagles to the bowl.
Yeah, because if you remember last week when Vikings were up 20 points coming out of the half, they weren't really playing that well offensively.
Oh, yeah.
So they kind of let up, and that's how they got the Saints to get back into the game. So you really need to play all 4 quarters, and this is why I'm kind of looking forward to the Vikings, because I'm not sure if they can do that in this next game compared to us. I believe we can. But that's what I'm looking for.
No, it's just funny,
Eagles.
Eagles. Looking at these final 4 teams, it's just crazy. The only team that I would predict would be the Patriots. Like it's just the Vikings, Eagles.
Yeah,
Jaguars.
if you held a poll right now, I mean, if you held a poll in the beginning of the season and you're just like, all right, who's your top 4 teams that are gonna go to the Super Bowl? Patriots were gonna be on that list, but everybody else, no chance in hell.
Yeah.
Especially the Jaguars when they're in preseason.
Oh, especially Jaguars.
Blake Bortles throws 5 interceptions in a drill. So everybody was writing off Blake Bortles, and here they are now in the freaking conference championship game. So it's pretty interesting. Eagles, I mean, they were kind of favorites to go to the playoffs, but with the injuries and stuff, it's been surprising for them to go up this far.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know or think that they'd kind of make it this. I thought first round they'd crumble, but
Same. So did I.
that extra week paid off. They're making the adjustments they have to. They're playing strategic football, I think, because they're doing what they have to stay alive, and that's playoff football. You play to win, at all costs. If that means stepping up more on one aspect of your game, so they're surviving playoffs.
And you know what's crazy? All 4 of these teams, if I'm not wrong, all of them are at least top 7 defensive teams of the year.
They
They've
might
all
be.
Patriots were sluggish in the beginning, but the second half of the season they really got up on the defense. And Jaguars and Vikings, they're like top two. Eagles is up there in top five. The only one that's like decent is Pats, and there it should be like a top seven defense.
Yeah.
All four of them.
So I can try and look that up. Whoopsie. Top NFL defenses 2017. I hope this is like 2017, 2018 season.
Not the 2016, 2017. Yeah, it's confusing sometimes when you look it up.
So if it is this one, I'll look up 18 after. It has Chicago. I don't know if this has them ranked. Let's see if this one does. Honorable mention. Okay, so 10 would be Philadelphia. There's Washington. Chicago's a
No, that's wrong.
Buffalo Bill. So this is
That's
last
wrong.
year's. So look up 18 is what you're saying?
Yes.
I hate the way this is kind of set up. It pulls up like Madden. Oh, I didn't even check the date to the other one though at the same time. So
Yeah, so I have it right here.
Okay, go ahead.
I have it right here. Yeah, Minnesota was the number one defense. Jacksonville was number 3. Philadelphia number 4, and New England number 5. So you have 4 of the top 5 defenses of the year.
So yeah, defenses have gotten all these teams kind of this far. Because I mean, even though Brady's Brady, he's been underperforming this season. Like during the regular season.
They've honestly gotten more into running the ball more. You know, going more 50-50 when he used to be pass heavy first. You know.
And he also skipped a practice.
Are you talking about today or?
Yeah, today.
His hand.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think it's more of a psych to go against their opponent. Like, oh, Tom Brady's not gonna be 100%, and then Tom Brady's gonna show up and he's gonna ball out. So to me, it's more of a strategy. I think that's why they do these.
Yeah, it could be that. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think there's too much trauma.
I mean, he's an old guy. You know, he's been to the dance, what, 8 times at least. I don't know how many times.
Yeah, his record speaks for itself. Yeah, I think they're fine. I think they're trying to give the media something to toy around with, or they're making more out of it than they should.
Yeah,
but
maybe he had like an ingrown nail or something, you know. But like I said, you know, going back to the defense, I mean, it truly is defense wins championships.
Yep.
You know.
I didn't think that was a good little thing that was locked up in your brain to the top.
It just came out, you know.
So that's our predictions for this weekend, and then we might do Pro Bowl predictions before the Super Bowl.
Someone's gonna score. I guarantee you that.
Let's see. I mean, it's been a slow news week, like last week, except this one's been slower.
It's the beginning of the year. Nobody wants to put out an album. No movies are out right now. Well, except for that Den of Thieves this week looks good. That new 50 Cent movie.
I heard of it. I hadn't seen any.
It's got so much promotion. But you know, it's the beginning of the year. Nobody really likes to do anything like put anything out because it's more of like a hibernation month. You know, everybody's just really trying to get back into the new year and whatnot. So people try not to drop anything major. They want to let us settle in a little bit.
Yep.
Get acquainted with 2018, and then maybe next month we'll get something going. But yeah, slow news week.
Mm-hmm. Donald Trump likes getting spanked with Forbes.
It has to be a Forbes magazine.
That came out today. That's that. But
allegedly.
I guess we can talk about the 25th anniversary of Raw. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what to expect. If it was up to me booking it, I'd bring in all ECW guys. So then everyone would get pissed at me because it's a Raw reunion, not ECW.
You know, I did hear some stuff on Twitter. People were like, "Please bring back the Hardcore Championship and the where they have to defend it 24 hours a day."
Yeah,
like bring it back for a little bit, you know, just to hype it up. So people are looking forward to some ECW stuff, you know.
That's creative as hell, though. I mean, the Hardcore Championship was I think one time a ladder won it or a mop or something because
Yeah.
it fell on someone.
I think it pinned him 1, 2,
Yeah, it
3.
was dumb, but I mean, there's so much fun, dumb stuff you can do with that belt that's defended 24/7.
It was interesting,
Yeah,
It made you want to like find out what's going on. Whoever had the title belt at the time, do they still have it? You always had to look up on the internet. Back in the day, you didn't have Twitter and stuff like that,
yeah.
so it's tough. You had AOL dial up or Net Zero.
Net Zero. Oh Jesus, I think we had Net Zero for a little while.
I did too.
God, it was horrible. Unplugging the phone to use the internet.
Terrible.
Dark times.
But yeah, they announced a lot of legends coming back. You got your Stone Cold Steve Austin, who's been away from WWE for a while.
Yeah.
But I guess he's kind of back on their relationship. I guess they had a little fallout.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Well, Stone Cold had his podcast. It
Yeah,
was
he
a
did.
Stone Cold podcast on WWE Network. Yeah. And I think the last one they had was with Dean Ambrose. And a lot of people were like giving Steve Austin crap because he kept on grilling Dean Ambrose throughout the whole interview. And I think that was the last interview that they had on the network. And that's when he went to his own podcasts away from WWE.
Yeah.
And so people thought that they had some bad blood within each other. But it looks like the relationship's been mended enough where Stone Cold's going to return. You also have The Undertaker. I guess he didn't retire. Who knows? There's always those fantasy bookings.
Yeah, I know that's kind of interesting. It'd be cool to see Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
But once again, I'm like ECW thing.
Speaking of Rob Van Dam and steroids, before we get back to the 25th anniversary, there's this news that Roman Reigns was named as one of the guys who bought steroids from that guy that got arrested, that Rich Rodriguez.
Oh, I don't know too much about the steroid thing. I thought that was all kind of done. I thought all the guys were done with that shit.
Well, this is like a history thing. Like he was a previous buyer. Apparently, Roman Reigns, Mark Wahlberg, and Josh Duhamel were named in like shoppers, I guess, of this guy who would buy steroids off him. And Roman Reigns so far has denied ever knowing the guy. So that's kind of interesting to see. He's already been suspended once for testing positive for steroids, I guess. But it's crazy news for today for the WWE. But going back to the 25th anniversary, Jericho was also announced he's going to be there.
Which is good. I think it's good overall for everything because he's got his hot stuff going on in Japan.
Yeah.
So for him to make another appearance here is good too.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, anything to expand like the wrestling platform, I think it's good. I don't think there's anything bad that can be done by bringing any cross promotion stuff. I think all now's like key. Like there's no beef like WCW and WWE.
Yeah, there's no Bischoff versus Vince McMahon.
But no, that'd be cool to see him come back. And they probably kind of mention his time in Japan. That'd be kind of interesting. Maybe like Miz say some smart ass shit or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone like that. That'd be pretty cool.
You have the whole DX faction coming back, including,
Is Shawn Michaels going to be there?
Shawn Michaels will be there. Obviously, he has to.
Walking like he just got done breaking in 5 horses.
Hey, Shawn Michaels here. I feel like if like the guy that voices a Cookie Monster, like were to ever be like pass away or like get fired,
just
get Shawn Michaels.
Get the Shawn Michaels voice.
But
wouldn't it be interesting to have I don't know if they can do it. I don't know if they own the character or not. But with the whole hype of like, if they had like Doink.
Oh, Doink the Clown return.
Just kind of creepily doing stuff in the background here and there. Maybe creeping out the divas and then have like a surprise match.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. Him against like
the Boogeyman.
Yeah, he's supposed to be back too.
Oh, is he really?
I think he's supposed to be back.
Dude, okay, the Boogeyman versus Doink. A creepy Doink would be the shit. I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
They can have a lot of fun with this, man.
The concept, the premise of the show, it's going to be shot in 2 different arenas. One, I believe, is going to be in New York, a historic theater that they use, I think, the most TV tapings in New York.
Yeah.
at Arena, and they're gonna use that one for the Legends, and then they're gonna have a location for the present guys.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have like two different sets of commentaries. They're gonna bring back JR and King
nice.
Lawler. So you're gonna hear puppies.
Yeah,
Puppies.
they'd kick King Lawler's ass out of there quick.
They're actually gonna have a Raw pre-show. They're gonna bring that back.
Dude, that's
so
4 hours of like.
They're gonna treat it kind of like a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
you know?
sounds like it.
But it's historic, man. You know, it's the longest episodic TV show in the history of TV.
It's entertainment, man.
Which
it's
is
fun.
not really true, you know.
What is it? What else is? Well, I mean, from like primetime TV, and it's live.
Yeah, that's like their loophole. But there's been longer running shows.
Days of Our Lives.
Oh god, all these soap operas. They don't even bring that up. That's true.
Yeah, like they don't want to be seen as soap opera, the male soap opera.
But Monday should be interesting. That's going to be the.
I think I might actually watch that. I haven't seen Raw or SmackDown in months.
I watched the last 2 weeks. I took a break from WWE as well, but I went back to it just to see what's going on because Rumble's around the corner.
Yeah, that's usually I start tuning in around Rumble,
which is Road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, so this podcast will shift probably a little bit more wrestling-y because I'll start watching it more. But then usually after Mania, I tune out.
Yeah, maybe until after like SummerSlam. I wouldn't mind listening to that, watching that as well. But after that, it kind of really slows down.
Yeah.
But this year for Royal Rumble, they're gonna have their first ever 30-woman Royal Rumble as well. So there's gonna be 2 different Royal Rumbles, which will be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty fun, and then they're gonna bring back, obviously some. That's one thing I'm looking forward to is like the men's Royal Rumble is always fun, but I think the female one's gonna be fun just because, we'll now be able to see female legends coming in.
There's talk about the Bella twins, both of them.
I've heard. Like I said, I've kind of kept an eye, and I heard that, and I heard Trish and Lita, possibly even like Molly Holly,
Michelle McCool.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they can do. Santina.
Beth Phoenix too.
That would be pretty.
Cause she was in the men's Royal Rumble.
Was she?
Yeah, she was. She was in there. They brought that stat up. Her in China were like the only women
in the men's Rumble and stuff like that. That should be fun. I'm actually looking forward to watching that. Yeah, we're gonna have a fun week, and
it's gonna end with the Rumble, which is great. So it's gonna be a good weekend.
Rumble / fuck. That's the games. Oh man, it's gonna be.
Interesting. That is that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Isn't it? Yeah.
No.
Oh, I know the games are this weekend. That's right. We're gonna forget the Pro Bowl.
Thank God.
The Pro Bowl. Never mind.
You scared me.
Yeah, I know. I scared myself. All right. Well, we're 53 minutes in.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I know. To a podcast where we were just like, we're not gonna even get. At least I didn't think we. I thought we hit like 30 minutes and call it good. So slow week. We'll see about recording something either later on this weekend.
Whom?
or we can possibly record Thursday if we decide not to go to a basketball game.
Yeah, we could podcast during the game.
Live cast. Yeah.
Our first ever live cast, you guys.
All right. Well, it's been good. This is Davito from 3D, and
it's been fun. It's been great, but hasn't been. I fucked it up. I'm Lalo.
All right. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye-bye.